Hello everybody! Today quickly I want to talk about consumption and spending and so on. So what are you gonna do? You of course you should save for retirement. There are more and more cases of people that don't have enough, and I just read like a lady over 90 works at a McDonald's in Singapore because her money is not enough. She can't pay her bills. I mean, that's very sad at over 90. I mean, I worked at McDonald's when I grew up. I was like maybe 18 after school. I went there. It's tough. It's like I burned my fingers, and it's really tough. It's so hard and it's not good. So you have to self-respect. You have to prevent that. So you need to save more than you think in many cases. So get prepared, and a good way is my parents taught me how to deal with money. The money thing was not a taboo at home, and not at all. So it was an open discussion, and it helped me through life because as a kid I learned money is limited. There is not endless money. It's not growing on trees or so, and you just pick it. It's not easy. And so I had enough clothes. My mom got us clothes. She got the kids an education, and she agreed for the necessary stuff, and that's it. If there was a wish, I knew I cannot get more than the necessary stuff. And for a birthday and so for Christmas there was something else, but usually no extra wishes. And I knew it, and I didn't go there. I asked her 1,000 times. I knew I would not be successful asking her for a lot of wishes. So I learned from early on there is a need and there is a want. Those two things. And if you focus on the needs, that's okay. The wants, be careful with it. Always save. Spend less than you make. That is a general rule. And what else can you learn? Like, I mean, for example, like people get all these cell phones. I don't know where my is now. Like, why don't you wait till the new model comes out? People sit in at the store and like they go nuts with the new model from Apple or whatever. Why don't you wait 6 months till the new model is 25% cheaper? I like that even better. I like the new model with a discount. And it's just the attitude. It's just people can't wait for their wishes, and everything has to be fulfilled right away. I think it's stupid. It's just stupid. It hurts you long term. And just living with less is a very smart. I think is a very smart, and it helps you, and you should learn it. And a good book to learn is, for example, this one. I have the limited edition, The Millionaire Next Door. It's written by Thomas Stanley. He's a PhD. He did a groundbreaking work on it because the people think always a millionaire is a big spender. And I will put a link below for this book. It's really a fabulous book. And people think always a millionaire is a big spender. They drive big cars, they live in lavishly in big homes. And this is what this book shows you. People that are rich are pretty frugal. That's why they become rich. And the average guy thinks, oh my god, I want to become millionaire. Why do they want to become millionaire, the average guy? Because they think they can spend $1 million. And that's the wrong attitude. I mean, if you're lavish, if you spend, if you're like a typical consumer, typical middle class consumer, people just blow it, and that hurts you. I mean, all these wishes, all this stuff, you cramp your home with all the electronics and all these clothes and lavish traveling and a flying business class and always the finest foods, are always going to restaurants, driving the brand new car, even so you lose a lot when you drive from the car dealership. When you leave the car dealership, you're losing already. So this book gives you a good, it puts the millionaire in a spotlight. The typical American millionaire is it's not a spender. He's a careful consumer, always putting some money to the side and thinking long term, and that's what you should do. So I met with a friend at Barnes & Noble here in New York in Tribeca, and we talked about several books. Another good, you will see it later at this video, I will add it at the end. Here's another good book, Warren Buffett, The Snowball. It's a huge, but it shows you his life and how he thinks about life. He's a very honest person and he thinks long term. And for him, it's important to be fair and to be straightforward. But it's also in some parts critical about him. It's really interesting about the life. It's about attitude. It's about thinking and learning and building something. And it's about goals, setting goals, having the right attitude. It's just helpful. It's a beautiful book. Even so, it's a little critical. But now I show you the other movie. It's just coming here with a friend in Barnes & Noble. We talk about 2 other books. Okay, take care.
So this is a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read this book many years ago. I've read it several times, over and over, to remind me how to create wealth. So Robert Kiyosaki talks about creating assets and liabilities. He learned this from a neighbor, which he calls his rich dad. He would go out with his neighbor who had multiple rental properties, who was creating wealth, and he would see how having cash flow come in could make you wealthy, not just for the present time, but for years to come throughout retirement. His parents, who were teachers and worked in the public school system, while they were hard workers, they made money, but they never really created wealth. So even though they were hard workers, when retirement comes, they were having to live on, Social Security or the minimal amounts for retirement, and they didn't have positive cash flow of other sources coming in. So I would recommend it. Very good read. Thank you.
Hi, I want to quickly add what Marcus said to Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a great book. It's one of the best. When you have this, you do really fine. And what he explains is like investments. You should focus on investments that make you money, that create positive cash flow towards you into your account. And it's also called passive income. It's a wonderful tool. It can be rental, when you rent out a property, like an apartment or house, and it's not your own house. That can be a waste. He's very critical, Kiyosaki, with their own house. He says it costs you money, it costs you taxes, it costs you renovation, the kitchen gets used up, and you have to replace the roof and the windows and the AC. So that is a big money waste. He's very careful with owning huge and lavish. And he says renting for yourself small is okay, but be careful with spending what creates negative cash flow away from your account. And to understand the whole thing and to get it, it makes something happen in your brain. You always are critical with spending when it doesn't create later on income for you. And the story is his parents were broke and the neighbor was rich. He drove an old car, but his parents were poor because they spent it all and they drove a new car. So it's like comparing a spender with a saver and an investor. And it really opens your eyes. It's so helpful. And this is another book I would recommend. It's by a professor, Malkiel Burton. It's about it was a bestseller, Random Walk on Wall Street. It's about gambling and playing on Wall Street, this trading and not this long-term investing, and always this like throwing like darts like a monkey on a wall. And it's about, it doesn't pay off to trade stocks in and out. It's better to invest long-term. Okay, those 2 books are pretty good, and that's all for today.